I've always really loved stories which were about kind of sort of chance encounters. I'm not really just a romance, which can be sort of suspenseful, but I really sort of like the way these stories often show how intense these relationships can be, especially if they occur in a short space of time, and how they can kind of leave us, quite profoundly changed.
In most films, you have the story beats coming through the dialogue, but in this movie, you have some of the story beats actually coming through the dance, and that's why I really wanted to make it.
I'd only really ever seen sort of dance live in musicals, and then I was invited to see some contemporary dance at the Place in London, and I was really blown away by how loud the music was, but how contemporary it was and how emotionally charged it was, and especially how much emotion and story the dancers were able to kind of communicate through movement. And it immediately made sense to me that in this story the characters should be dancers.
Chris approached me with this story about two dancers, and I was immediately interested. Partly, I think, because I used to be a dancer, but also because I just love the idea of telling the story through dance, and it's so cinematic.
Right at the very first meeting with Stephanie, I remember we decided on two things. One, we wanted to use real dancers.
We didn't want it to be like a musical where you just like stop and then you start dancing. We just wanted it to be completely naturalistic, so to organically just move from the dialogue into the dance.
We used to go to studios every day to practice the acting process with Christopher, to learn how to speak to a camera, how to act, really, because it's a different way of acting once you are dancing.
I was very fortunate that Chris was wanted some insight, some real insight into the ballet world, and was after finding out what it's like to be a professional ballet dancer, and allowed me to take him into my world and to also bring my own experiences to the table to develop the character.
The title of the film, Love Tomorrow, really comes from the idea of Eva wondering if she will ever find love again and what the nature of that love will be.
What the film means to me is live in the moment. Do as much as you can now, because you never know tomorrow.
Going out into the world and experiencing what she does, it doesn't quite save her, but at least I think it puts her in a place where she wants to be, and where she's able to make decisions about her future.